Good morning, everybody. You are listening to Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. Our show is sponsored by our friends Abels and Hyman. We taste better. So for those of you who don't know me or tuning in for the first time, I'm Naomi Nachman. I'm about all the food all the time. I love food. I love shopping for it, cooking, eating at restaurants. I'm a kosher personal chef. Anytime you don't feel like cooking, you can give me a call. I cater for people for Shabbos, for Yom Tov. Anytime you don't want to do it, I'm happy to do it for you. Wow, ZK, this is a little loud. The headsets are on. Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. I'll go back to the intro. So tune in every week on NachumSiegel.com. You can watch our show on the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and then go to Nachum Siegel Network, and then you'll find our show, right? Nachum Siegel Net. But it actually comes up, ZK is telling me it's Nachum Siegel Networks. Both will work. Nachum Siegel Net or Nachum Siegel Network. That's the name of the channel on YouTube. And you can actually watch our show. Kind of interesting to see all the guests as well as hearing them if you can. I also like hearing from my guests. I love hearing from my listeners. I love hearing from my guests too, and my listeners. So you can always shoot me an email, naomi@nachumsiegel.com. I love hearing from everyone. If you have a great restaurant that you want me to check out, or something you ate or something you made, let me know. I'd love to do it too. And I'm busy with a scavenger hunt with Ilan Kornblum from Great Kosher Restaurant Magazine. I think last week I was in 10th place. So me and my teammate Esty Berkowitz, we're trying to crank it up this week, and hopefully we'll do better. But for more information, you can go to the Facebook page of Great Kosher Restaurants Scavenger Hunt. And it's really been a lot of fun. If you've been following me along, you'll see where I've been posting and pictures and of where I've been eating, what I've been eating, and who I've been eating with. So you can join the teams too, I think. We still have a little bit of time left till the scavenger hunt is over. So I've got an action-packed show today. I'm very excited to be in the studio with a bunch of great ladies. This week is Ladies' Week. My guests are three fabulous ladies. And next week I'm going to have, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of the show, three amazing male chefs. So, I thought we'd split it up this week and next week and have a real fun show. I've got Liz Reuven from Kosher Like Me, and I've got Malki Hirsch, who has the amazing Facebook group called Kiss the Kosher Cook. And then later on in the show, we're going to have Tamar Genga from joyofkosher.com. Very excited to have her. Tamar and I planned this date about 8 months ago. We decided to have her on the show. We wanted to have her a long time ago, but it's just hard to pin down. Busy lady, as you can imagine. So we set a date about 8 months ago for her to be here. So she's going to join us in a little bit. So it's been a really busy week. Last Shabbos project. I can say it like an American. I actually got to be in Orlando. For those of you who are following me along, I spent Shabbat with the Orlando Shabbat group. I did a cooking demo Shabbos afternoon on salad. So that was a little bit of a challenge getting everything ready in time to do a salad show in the afternoon, but it was really a lot of fun. We ate in an amazing restaurant. I want to give them a shout out. I used Ilan Kornblum's app to find the restaurants. There's a Great Kosher Restaurant Magazine app. It's a magazine app, and it finds, you turn it on, you download it, and you can turn on like location, finds you all the different restaurants where you are. So I needed to find something in Orlando, and the Kosher Grill came up, but they call it the Kosher Grill because he's Israeli, the grill. It was amazing. It is the best kosher food, the best Israeli kosher food in the United States. I'm telling you, you got to go to speak to Nati and tell him Naomi Nachman sent you, because it was amazing. And then, of course, we ate some food at Disney, which was great to have kosher food at Disney. It's not the most delicious meal I've ever had, but it did the trick. I wanted to, eat like a regular person without having to schlep sandwiches, because you all know how I feel about soggy bread. So they actually heated up a hot dog, and it was actually quite satisfying. I won't say fabulous, but we'll call it satisfying. Speaking about food again, I'm doing some cooking classes this coming week at the Peppermill, November 4th. If you want to join me, you sign up through the peppermillinc.com. That's November 4th. And then Hadassah Women's Group, I'm doing November 5th. and you can call Ethel Gold. It's going to be in Park Slope for Hadassah Women's. I'm not sure if I mentioned who the cause is for. Great fundraising group that raises money for children in Israel. And I'm going to be doing fall cuisine, all original brand new recipes for this season. And if you want to come, call Ethel at 718-434-6264, or you can shoot me an email and I'll get you some more information. So we've got Kosher Food Fest, Kosher Fest, Kosher Feast, and Kosher Food Bloggers conferences coming up. Just come with more announcements and reminders. If you do want to sign up, there's still room. And the CKCA is doing a men's class. Lots of announcements today. They're doing a men's class. So you can call the Kosher Center for Kosher Culinary Arts in Brooklyn and speak to Jesse and sign up, especially for the guys that want to cook. I should announce that next week as well when we've got all these men's classes starting. So that's pretty exciting for the guys. Okay, enough announcements on this fabulous Erev Shabbos. I want to get chatting with all my guests. It's going to be a real food yap today because this group of gals knows how to cook, we know how to eat, we know how to serve and be with people around food. I'm going to introduce Liz Reuven. Liz and I met about a year or two ago. We met for the first time at Kosher Food Bloggers Conference. I don't know if you remember that. Okay, you got to talk into the microphone.
I do remember.
Yeah, so, and then we got to really know each other through Esty Berkowitz a couple of months ago. We ate at Butterfish, and then we just became fast friends, and we just love to talk about food. And Liz taught me amazing tricks for photography using my iPhone. My photos got much better. I posted a nice one yesterday.
Good for you. Did you get the new iPhone?
Not yet, because I just got the iPhone 5. I was a little behind. You know why? Because my kids take my upgrades.
Oh, right.
So I had to pull, make some tricks, and I got the iPhone 5 unlocked so I could take it with me to Australia. So I'm also got in the house. I want to just give a warm welcome to my neighbour and friend and shul davener. We daven in the same shul as well, Malki Hirsch from Kiss the Kosher Cook, and she's going to join us later in the conversation as well, and we'll tie everyone in together. So. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here.
I know we've spoken about this for a while, so
Yeah.
I'm glad. We booked the date also a little while ago to make sure that this would work.
Well, we booked it over a delicious dinner at Butterfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels like forever ago,
I
just
know.
because it was in August and now it's already chilly outside. But I'm not yet wearing tights. Like it's still not so cold. I'm bracing myself. But so Liz has taught me a lot about fresh vegetables and going to the farmer's market. So. I know, Mark is like,
yeah,
I know, we're going to go on a trip.
Right, we're going to have a field trip. And you can come. You're
love
invited.
to.
You're all invited.
Actually, you're all invited. We'll make it a table.
Let's do a field trip to the farmer's market.
Into the microphone.
Okay. Hello.
Okay, maybe push it towards you if you.
Sure. Yeah.
So let's talk about the benefits. I know the season is coming to an end. Is this the sound okay? Okay. The season is coming to an end in Connecticut, but right here in Manhattan at Union Square,
I love Union Square.
it's going on the whole year, right?
Yes. Well, I live in Westport, Connecticut, and I spend half the week in New York City. And lucky for me, my farmer's market in Connecticut is year-round also, but when we go inside for the winter, they move it to Shabbat from a Thursday meeting time, so I don't attend in the winter. But we open in April. I would say April, things aren't really growing. I mean, you can pick up these hardy greens, but what I do really is I build posts for my blog around the seasons. So basically, when I set up an editorial calendar, I set it up by plugging in all of the chagim first, and then I start researching what vegetables and fruits are growing at what time. So at what time of year, really almost at what week. So I have relationships with farmers at my farmer's market, and sometimes I send them quick notes saying, I'm about to do a special post on an ingredient. I need to schedule something for the first week in October. What are you harvesting? And then I can either go up to the farm or I can buy it at the farmer's market, and then I sort of spin the week around that.
Unbelievable. So you actually, the sound is going in and out of my headphones. I don't know if it's okay, it's fine. I sound fine. Okay, just want to make sure I sound fine. Because each season has got more, like tomatoes in say November aren't the same as they are when they're officially in season, right? Like, let's talk about that.
Right. Well, it's funny that you're saying tomatoes, right?
Yeah.
just want to make sure with that lovely accent.
Tomatoes is Australian.
Tomatoes.
You're saying tomatoes, right? So,
Tomatoes. I'll say it.
So
Tomatoes.
it's interesting.
Subtitles.
Interesting that you mentioned that because I just posted a picture of green tomatoes, which I had my first experience with. I know people from the South make fried green tomatoes, and we all saw the movie.
I've never had one.
Okay, well, I'm posting a recipe, and I did a great fun cooking session with myself. The director of our farmers market is from the South, and I was up at a farm recently, and she took me out into the field and said, "You've got to try these green tomatoes." And I said, "But they're underripe." And she said, "But that's the whole point."
So you're actually, the whole thing with green tomatoes is they're underripe tomatoes.
That's all. That's all it is.
I thought it was just like a color, like yellow tomatoes.
Right. Right. I wondered if it was a special. Hi, Tamar.
Tamar Genka just walked in. Hi, how are you? Let's get Tamar a microphone. We started.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, that's
Traffic
okay.
was bad.
Traffic and you know what? Parking. I had a hard time with parking.
Oh, okay, there was spots out front now.
Okay, well, there wasn't before when I came. So it all worked out for everyone. Thank you for joining us. Tamar Genga, joyofkosher.com, is also joining us. We have a women's group today.
Fantastic.
So we're really excited.
So what I was going
We
to say,
just started with Liz, and I'm just catching everyone up, and we're talking about farmers markets.
and we're talking about green tomatoes. So green tomatoes are just tomatoes that are not ripe. So here in the Northeast, at the end of the season, like now, there isn't enough heat in the fields and enough sun to really ripen most of the tomatoes. So some are ripening, but many are just staying green on the vine. So I went up to my local farm, and my farmer took me out into the field, and we picked the green tomatoes. And then I said, "Now what?" And she said, "Now you figure it out, because I don't do that." So I turned to my farmer's market manager, who's from the South, and I said, "Tell me some tips on managing these green tomatoes." So we had a whole chat about, cornmeal, flour, egg, which part of the batter, what traditional is and what non-traditional is. And I went to it, and it was really, really fun. And of course, they're really beautiful, when you slice them, and they're gorgeous. They're bright green. So really what I love to do on my blog is to, as I said, work with the Chagim first, but then I like to be inspired. I mean, when I shop on Thursdays at my farmer's market and I'm shopping for Shabbat, and if we're having guests or whatever, I don't plan the menus anymore. I just go and I see what's going on.
You see what's inspiring you.
Right. So so I try to bring that kind of energy and excitement for seasonal and fresh local cooking and produce and all of that to kosher like me.
We hear a lot of the word local
Yeah.
farming, local produce.
Support.
Yeah. I think it's amazing to keep the Long Island, where we live, Long Island, and then Connecticut farmers, and just using local and fresh.
And New Jersey has great farms also.
Right. I'm sure people could look up easily wherever they are, type in, I guess, your neighborhood and write local farmers market.
Yeah, there are also websites that sort of do a whole overview of every farmer's market in, across the U.S., so you can find them easily.
Right. So, I'm thinking that maybe we should have a table for two trip in the spring when, maybe we'll get a bunch of listeners together.
I would love
won't
to
be on the
host
air.
you. Yeah, I would love to host you.
Well, a bunch of us will meet out. Maybe if Tamar can come
that
join us
sounds
too,
great.
you can talk about Joy of Kosher and how we can all go out and learn how to pick. Because sometimes, like my grandparents were had a fruit shop. We call it an Australia fruit store. When I was growing up, and then they did commercial fruit salad for restaurants, and they would sell to restaurants. And my grandmother knew how to pick the most perfect fruit, but I don't know how to do that.
Well, one of the things that
it's an art form.
Well, one of the things that I love about shopping a farmer's market, especially the farmer's market where I live, is that it's small enough so that you can get to know your vendors. So in I would say 2 or 3 of the cases where I know the vendors at my farmer's market, I can just go to them and hold up a fruit and say, "So what is this? What am I doing with this?" And once you know your vendors, even if you don't know your vendors, they're just happy to encourage you and explain things to you. So you don't have to be an insider. You can just be a curious shopper.
Right. I was mentioning before, I was in Orlando last week, and I stayed at this beautiful hotel. And they had a restaurant at the hotel that had a garden in the back, and they used the produce from the garden in the restaurant. And I thought that was
Oh, wow.
super
Yeah, it's
awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
I wish we could do that more. I guess living in Manhattan or being in New York area directly, New York City, it's harder to do that.
Well, I think the CSAs help with that. You know, then people can sign up to be part of the farm, and they get the box every week from the farm.
Correct.
So
We
it's
spoke it.
almost, it's not like you could do that. You could then say, I'm going to, cook all my meals from those boxes.
Right,
and,
right.
you
We were
know.
talking about that actually. I think last week's show, someone had I was away for Sukkot, and they told me I could go and pick up the CSA box, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know what I was going to cook, and in this box was a cabbage and some leafy greens. I didn't even know what they were.
It's like chopped.
Yeah, it was like you had
Yeah.
no
It's
amazing.
right, and
It's
I just
amazing.
from that I built my menu
Yeah.
around that.
great.
Swiss chard. I didn't know what to do with that.
Yes, you took
yeah.
a picture
I
of
took
it.
pictures and
and you were like, what do I do with the stem?
And
Right?
right.
Yeah.
And everyone gave me a comment. Okay, great. Do you want to write your name and thing? You did all that? Okay, awesome. That way we can introduce Tamara. It'll come up for those of you who are watching. We try to put out the name and the blog name of our guest, so you can catch that as well on YouTube. Okay, so your blog itself, you have these amazing pictures. When you go
Thank
onto
you.
kosherlikeme.com, you take them all.
I take most of them if if we're writing about a chef, or for example, we're writing about kitchen surfing.
Right.
Next week, they've provided the photographs. So and of course, we credit everything. As bloggers, we're very careful,
Yes.
diligent about
Yes.
this, crediting
Yes.
all the time, crediting. But anyway, so in some cases, I do not take the pictures, but in most cases, I take the pictures.
They're
Yes.
unreal.
Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet.
Can I
Thank
tell
you.
you, when you see these big pictures, and I have a big computer screen, and like this gorgeous picture of cauliflower steak that you put up. It was
Okay.
Ronnie's.
I love
That was
that.
Ronnie's.
So
that was Ronnie's,
right?
right?
So that's a beautiful cauliflower
So
steak.
you just want to
Yeah.
bite into that,
Right.
like into the screen. You makes you want to run to your local supermarket and buy
Buy
cauliflower.
Right. Well, that's the point. Cauliflower is happening right now. You
Right.
should be eating cauliflower now. Yeah.
Right. So what are and Tamar, you can join in on this. Both of you, Malky and Tamar. What is in right now? What vegetables should we be cooking with? Because we're getting into the fall. It's getting closer to Thanksgiving next month. So, what?
Pumpkin.
Yes,
Pumpkin.
pumpkins.
Huge one.
Pumpkin.
Soups.
Pumpkins of all kinds.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Pumpkin-
butternut squash.
Love all different types of squash. Butternut squash, kabocha squash, spaghetti squash.
I love spaghetti squash.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I posted 3 pumpkin recipes, 3 stuffed pumpkin recipes last week.
Oh, beautiful. They were beautiful.
Yeah. I mean,
Stuff it with.
kosherlikeme.com. Check those out.
Thank you. In some of them have grains and some of them have cheeses. I think in one of the recipes you could easily switch out
You had me at cheese.
the cheese.
Oh.
Easily switch out the cheese and make it parve, so you can eat it with your fleshik meal. But I do a column called Seasonal Snippet, so I highlight certain ingredients that I think are challenging for people to deal with. So I think that pumpkins are a little scary.
Yeah, a little intimidating.
They're
The
intimidating.
size and also just
And there's a huge variety of pumpkins, and people don't know what to do with them.
right.
So last week I did a seasonal snippet about pumpkins, and then I posted recipes. In the early spring, I did a column about garlic scapes. Garlic scapes are so mysterious. You
What is
look at
that?
What's a
them-
garlic scape?
Yeah,
Do you know what garlic scapes are? Tamar,
Tamar
you
must
know.
know.
Those from like the CSA. I used to get them.
Oh, there you
That's-
go.
Yeah. There
you go.
You
Have to get on there.
At the store. That's why a lot of people don't know. They're only in farmers markets
they're-
or.
that's
So
right.
what is it? Just tell me what it is.
A garlic scape looks like a longer, curlier, and more firm scallion. It's
Oh,
got this big.
wow.
Have you ever seen has your garlic ever gotten old where like green
Yes,
is coming
yes.
out of it? It's basically that.
I thought you were supposed to throw
But,
that out.
Well, I mean, it's different. But I mean, it's I don't exactly know what it is. But
It
it's
is
sort of the
different
same-
because it pops up as a scape, just like that.
But it's related to that. I think it's like you wouldn't use that, but that's what it looks like
Yes.
basically, and it's somehow connected.
And long.
and it
I
has a
love
garlic.
them.
It has a garlicky
Yeah, but it's
flavor,
not as sharp. Like you can.
an undertone.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
It feels a little bit like a combination of a scallion and a garlic. But once I post
nice.
about an ingredient that I think is tricky or mysterious or intimidating, then I post recipes. So for that we did like a garlic scape hummus. That was so easy and so
Wow.
delicious. And then you decorate it on top with those green flecks and it's beautiful. So
Yeah,
and
we
I-
can't get those in Gourmet Glatt.
I don't think they have garlic scape.
No.
Nope.
No.
but the Union Square Market
It's
has
also
them.
seasonal.
Where's-
though.
Let's
So,
go.
like,
Very
I'll show
early
you.
spring.
Where are
Yeah.
the farmers markets on Long Island?
Yeah, we don't have. We must have farmers market.
We
here.
have to, don't we?
Well, you have farms.
So,
Right, we can go to the Union Square one.
yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
go with you
amazing.
to that.
Yeah.
I'll
So
go-
usually have it at one.
It's actually
Straight
Monday,
into the microphone.
Wednesday, Friday, and
Saturday.
and
but
Saturday
that
and
doesn't-
Shabbat. Yeah.
Okay.
So Monday, Wednesday are great days because they're less crowded.
I used to go
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll go with you anytime. I'll take you
Okay.
on a tour of that
Exciting.
market too.
And they're
Oh, wow.
open the whole winter, right? Does that go the whole winter?
I think they are, but I can't be sure.
Right,
I
so
think
we will
they
check
are.
that out.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, cool. Very nice. Thank you very much, Liz. We're going to keep chatting. We're going to move along. We got this nice big group here. I kind of feel like this is like The View today because we've got all these women chatting all at once. Can I just get you guys to switch for a little bit?
Sure.
Tamar, you pop up here.
Okay.
You can stay there. You're neutrally seated. We'll give Tamar. Okay. Thanks, guys. We're switching seats a little bit so we can get. Hi, Tamar.
Hi.
I told everyone you came in like literally 5 minutes after we
Okay,
we
good.
began the broadcast, but you know, I was saying when I feel like we planned this like 8 months ago, and the day's
know.
finally arrived.
Seriously, how long ago was it?
I don't even know. Remember, it was still warm outside,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's not so crazy
Yeah,
cold
it's nice
yet, but
today.
yeah. So thank you so much for coming in. I know
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a hard
happy to be
day,
here.
and
Yeah.
bit of traffic, but.
Yeah, but no, it's good. It's always
Okay,
fun.
great. You are like, I feel like you must be the busiest lady because joyofkosher.com, which is, you know, you're running and keeping it
Yeah.
moving along with Jamie and Schiffer, I believe. Also, you guys are all tied in together. And, you know, just when I was Googling your name to get some research about, you know,
Oh.
for the show, you have 506 recipes accredited to you
Just
on
me.
Joy of
I
Kosher.
know, it's crazy.
You
when I
wrote-
see that, I can't believe it.
You wrote 506 recipes.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's over time. You don't even realize, you know?
It's amazing, and they're not just any recipes. Everything is unique and different. You know, that's how I
Okay,
felt.
good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I
it was,
don't
it
know.
was great. It was just not like, you know, boiled
Yeah.
potatoes and
Right,
mashed
no,
potatoes.
yeah, yeah.
It was really fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take you back to when you were a young mum or, you know, just starting off. Were you always a cook? Were you always into that?
You know, it's always hard to. I have a horrible memory of my childhood, so I should try and ask my family more. But apparently, a lot of us don't have great memories of stuff like that. But I remember I wasn't always necessarily a cook, but we did all cook. Like my dad was actually more the cook in the family.
Okay, my dad cooks.
And my mom ended up being the one who cooked more, just because of like she learned from him. Like he was always into
that's
food,
cute.
and yeah. But also, I think a lot of it is my parents were also always into dieting.
So, but you're a nutritionist.
And I'm a nutritionist, which is one of the reasons I got into that, which is how I got more into food too.
Right.
So like I did cook at that point. Like I remember like I think there was like taco night, the kids were in charge of taco night or something. But I don't think I was doing anything more than my brother and sister.
Right.
You know, it was just we were doing that, and we always had especially there's 3 of us, 3 kids, so like we also had a lot of things that were like make your own, like salad. It was always like salad bar, you know.
Okay,
so, like,
but this
we
is
never
great.
mix the salad together. It was like the lettuce, and we'd all chop up the vegetables like for Shabbat, you know.
But that
lunch.
was very
Right.
foresightful because that's
Since-
so
yeah.
in right now, the
Yeah.
salad bar thing.
I know, I know, but it was more so just because like each kid liked different. I could totally get it now with 3 kids. Each kid
Right.
likes different things.
Yeah.
You know, leave it all separate. Everyone can make their own.
In my house, it's what mummy eats.
Oh yeah, nice.
When I'm away, I buy my kids peppers, but when I'm home, I never put peppers in the salad. I just don't like peppers. So
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah. And now that they make their own lunches, I'll have peppers in the house for them to
Them,
throw it in.
okay.
But I never make it in a
Usually-
salad
yeah.
for dinner. I'm
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, but what if they don't like something?
Yeah, no, they
They
like
just
it.
say-
Yeah.
Okay, that's
yeah.
nice.
So that's good. Works for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think I just kind of like that's I wasn't like always so into it, but I definitely even by college at that point I was studying nutrition and getting more into food, and even I remember like no one else was really like cooking in their apartments in college really
Right.
and I was cooking most nights. I'd make not crazy things, just like stir fries and
Okay, so maybe
casserole.
to-
I remember like tuna noodle casserole, which I can't stand now.
Because you probably ate too much.
Maybe.
But so what, like for the kids that are listening now that are in college, right? What would be like something that you made that they could try to?
I think stir fries was probably the biggest thing because it's so easy and fast, and it could just be vegetables, tofu, chicken. It's like anything that you have, you can kind of throw into a basic stir fry.
And what would a great, simple seasoning be that
Yeah.
a college kid could just
Right.
throw
Well, I
in?
used to really like in college. I haven't done this in a long time, but I used to always add a little bit of peanut butter. to like
Oh,
a soy
nice.
sauce, just basically like soy
Nice.
sauce and peanut butter. Probably, I don't even remember what else. I know now it's
Little
like
sesame oil.
yeah, right. I don't think I don't feel like I feel like we probably didn't have sesame oil then.
No,
I mean, like,
no
I'm sure
way.
it existed, but I don't think that we
Right. I don't think
vegetable
bought
oil.
it.
That's about it.
Maybe peanut oil, you know,
Right,
and then the
exactly.
peanut butter. I don't know. I don't remember the details. Broccoli, I always loved in a stir fry, you know. I'm trying to and then you can even use canned vegetables, which also for like it's nice to just have like some
Right, and the
baby
cheap.
corn and and water chestnuts, and then so you can kind of have some of that stuff easy to go, and then add in some broccoli, and like you only need the one thing that's fresh, or add in some snow peas or sugar snap peas or whatever,
Right.
based on what you can find, green beans even.
And did you start writing all these recipes down? Because
No, so I didn't
when did
really
you
get
start-
into that more until
Yeah.
later. Like it was
When did
everything
the
has just
blog
been
start?
yeah. Okay, so I guess in terms of like writing recipes, like also, so I lived in DC after college for
Okay.
a little time, and there wasn't as much kosher food options, like in the cities, but there was nothing. So like you were kind of, I remember I started to make challah because it was like
you couldn't.
it wasn't easy to get kosher challah, or anything you wanted. So I think that's also one of the reasons that I would started to cook more. I mean, I liked it, but I got more into it because of like almost necessity. And then I worked for an organization for a few years in DC, and then when I had my first child, I took off some time, and then I was off for a couple years, and then when I had my third child, after like she was like a year, and I knew I was kind of ready to stop, I wanted to like do something, but I wasn't sure what. I was living in New York at that point, and I'd kind of always thought a little bit about some sort of something in the food and recipe space for the kosher world, though. And at that point, all recipes had become very popular.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I thought, wouldn't it be great if there was an all recipes for Jewish people, for kosher people? Because, like, even though obviously you can use that and you can adapt, it would be weird to write even if there was like a recipe that had milk in it, but you thought, oh, maybe I could try this with soy milk or something. You wouldn't really write that in a comment there, right?
Right.
Because no one would understand, why would you do that? kind of,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why
Especially
would you
at that
use
time,
margarine? We're talking
Yeah.
about this.
Oh, yeah.
Over butter.
It's true.
Right. Yeah. Like no one would understand that. So I kind of wanted a place not only to share kosher recipes, but also where people can communicate with each other and say, and everyone would understand why you're asking that.
The same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we all are. Community is such a big part. I think community and food and culture with all of us together. And it's like, why wouldn't we have that in this online space? So, so that was like the original like idea. And then I started that, and then I started it for a few months, and then met Jamie. And then Jamie and I, merged like our two things that we were doing. So we had like community, and we had Jamie and all other recipes. And so that's kind of just evolved from there.
It's unreal. I mean, joyofkosher.com, it is, I'm not going to say it's it is the biggest kosher food website out there.
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
have
it's pretty amazing.
20, I didn't check today, 26,000 at least. followers.
Members, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
but,
you see it on the
on
top.
Facebook, we have like
Yeah.
55,000 people on Facebook. We have, everywhere. So it's pretty exciting.
It's a force to be reckoned with. It's really great. Like I know quite often like when I got that Swiss chart and, I put it on Facebook, what should I do with this? And then of course I do my own research and I, go to Google
Yeah.
and what comes up? Joy of Kosher.
Really?
Yeah, like-
you must have typed in kosher or something.
Yeah,
in
I'm
chard.
sure I did.
I do have a great Swiss chard. It's chard and chickpeas. I don't know if you saw that. Chickpeas and chard, maybe? That's my
Can't remember. I
favorite
saw
chard
some.
recipe. It took me forever to like chard. I kept getting it in the CSA boxes, and I was like, what am I going to do with this stuff?
It's
And
photographic.
now I like it more in general, but that dish in particular, like, got me to like Swiss chard.
Oh, I
So you have
loved
to
it
try
right from the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it right away. Salt and lots of garlic and
Yeah.
stir fried it up. Like someone told me to treat it like spinach. It wilted
Yeah.
down fast. I got a big bunch, but there was really enough.
Yeah,
to
it all
serve
will.
just me.
Yeah.
But the idea of the chickpeas, I love chickpeas. I think it just gives it a bold flavor to everything. I have one daughter who
Yeah.
doesn't like chickpeas, so I kind of like, we'll take some off before I, dump everything in for the rest of us. but
Right.
love chickpeas.
Yeah. me
Okay,
too.
so the next step is you've brought everything together, and it's just unbelievable how it's you're out there. Now, what else has come from this? Like you do cooking demos as well.
Yeah, a little bit. Jamie, Shifra, and I are both all available for cooking demos. It's not something we do as regularly.
Right. But Jamie's so busy in Israel.
Yeah, so
That challah
so
video. Did everyone see Jamie Geller's challah video from the Bake Off?
challah bake, yeah.
The challah bake, unreal. I mean, the challah bake's all over the world. Like I heard
Yeah.
Miami had 4,600.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
Sydney, Australia had 2,500.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's unreal. I think
is.
the biggest one was in South America, I think. Someone had
Wow.
said that. I have to get our friend Sharon Lurie from South Africa. She was a guest on the show. She was the first one to teach us
Yeah.
about Shabbos Project. And she also, I think South Africa was pretty big also this past week.
Probably,
But
yeah.
she would probably know more of the statistics.
Right.
You know, unreal. Did anyone...
love Sharon.
Yeah. She says Sharon with her South African accent. Sharon.
Okay.
Yeah, I used a bunch of her recipes for Sukkot. I made her sushi cake. With she had meat in it.
Yeah, I think it's on our website.
Oh, yeah?
She contributed that. Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. And I did her salami because Abels and Hyman sponsors our show. We'll give a little station ID break there. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. And our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. And Abels and Hyman, I get these amazing salamis. And I cut them very thin and I followed her recipe and I put it on pizza, parva pizza, and the dough was puff pastry and the sauce was pesto. It was amazing.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was from her cookbook, the Kosher Butcher's Wife Celebrates. So it was her Yontif
Yeah.
version of that. That was absolutely outstanding. So, you can
Great.
go check that
Yeah.
out. So, if people have not signed up yet, you can, follow along.
For Joy of Kosher, yeah. And so, like, we're really now it's like become, we featuring community members. We're connected to all the different bloggers and stuff. And I feel like I've met so many wonderful people, and we love being a place that bloggers can also be like spotlighted. And so, they can get, more of an audience and just all of it, that we can all share with each other and be connected, which has been wonderful. So so you can join the website. We have the mailing list. We have all the social media handles. Everything's at Joy of Kosher. So
You're going to be at Kosher Food Bloggers, right?
yeah, of course.
Okay, that's a great. I think you're in collaboration.
Yeah,
Joy
yeah,
of
we work,
Kosher
yeah.
and Kosher Food Bloggers. Is Jamie coming in at all?
She's not this time. Yeah, she has a lot of traveling coming up afterwards for like the Hanukkah time. We have some projects we'll be working on.
Yeah.
She's I think going to be back in Florida. Actually, I don't know if you have people in Florida.
Yeah, we got lots of listeners. Sina, you out there? Somebody,
Okay.
my friend's aunt, Sina, we call her Listener Sina on the network,
Oh, nice.
and she lives in Florida.
Oh, cool.
So she
Okay,
will-
so we'll be back. She'll be back in Florida for Hanukkah time with Win Dixie. We've been doing some stuff with Win
Yeah,
Dixie.
that's really nice. Yeah, talk to more about that. What's been going on?
Yeah, so just that they are amazing what they've been doing in Florida at the supermarket there. They have the whole kosher section, like a couple of the stores where you can get sushi, pizza, fried chicken, also prepared food.
Which
stores?
Which stores? Which
I think
neighborhoods?
It's Aventura in North Miami Beach.
Okay, because
Tamarack.
winter break's
Yeah,
coming up,
yeah.
and people need to know this.
That's what we said. We said
Kosher
that, yeah.
food traveling. We need to deal
It's
with
great.
this.
So Aventura is amazing, right? Because they have all the prepared foods. They also have a lot of, I think, good, like they have the butcher and all that stuff. But but for travelers, even the prepared foods would be amazing, And even they told me that even if you're not so it's Aventura, Tamarack, or Boca. And even if
Boca.
you're not at one of those, a lot of the other stores, based on where you are, they have different amounts of, of kosher stuff. But just in general, they have more than most other places. And they also have to-go meals. I think even at the places that don't have as big of a selection, they have these meals that you can just, wrapped. The mashgiach told me it's like triple wrapped. You can put it in your microwave or
In your
whatever in your
room.
hotel or whatever. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
That like Win Dixie, like who would have thought?
Right. And so how did you partner up with them? Well, like, what do you do for
we
them?
started to touch base with them. We saw some of the stuff that they were doing. Because I think the Aventura store opened maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it was 2011. So I don't know. We just saw stuff they were doing, started to talk to them, and they were just really excited about working with us. And so we do some stuff online where we're just trying to promote and get people more aware of all the kosher offerings that they have, and then bringing Jamie into the stores. So she did for Rosh Hashanah. She went to
You're right.
Florida and
Right.
she did a demo in the store. So it was pretty cool. And I think 250 people came, and it was pouring rain, so we
Oh
were
my
nervous,
God.
but it was
That's a big crowd.
in a supermarket.
In a supermarket.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
a really
so it was
nice
good.
group. You guys have really just taken it and run with it.
Yeah.
The whole, but, and it's multifaceted because you've got the Joy of Kosher cookbooks and the magazine and
Right.
the website and just the whole, it's a power. It's
Yeah.
really a power. It's really fantastic. It's all about all the food all the time. It's great.
I know. I love talking food.
I know, right? Well, we had a couple months ago. We had Brent Delman in here, the
Yes.
cheese guy, and we have a show coming up with him in a couple of weeks. We're going to do another wine and cheese show, and he had brought down these amazing salads and little recipes that you had made. He goes, are you all familiar with Tamar Genga from Joy of Kosher? I'm like, hello. Of course we are. Who isn't on planet Earth? And he bought this amazing, like, zucchini.
It was the
with
asparagus. wasn't
Asparagus,
it? Right?
sorry.
Yeah.
The asparagus
You
with
said the asparagus.
this
with
Parmesan
the-
cheese
Yeah. Yeah, it was with.
and some
Yeah.
patties.
Yeah, that's
spinach
right. I know. Yeah,
with
well,
cheese.
he lives right near me, so and his son went to school with my daughter.
Oh, cute.
For when they were in, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. So we became friendly. Like, and then now I see him at shul and stuff like that. So so we became friendly, and he's talking about farmers markets. Like, he does the farmers market in Riverdale.
Right, he does the cheeses.
Yeah, the cheeses, which is amazing.
He's really brought up. I used to say American cheese is not good. Like, the Americans just don't know how to make good cheese. But we have Brent now for that because he actually makes really, really good cheese. Have you been to his cheese cave?
I have.
I want to go there.
Oh, you haven't been? You should totally.
I haven't had the chance.
You should do something there.
I
He
know.
always
Go
wants
with
to
you.
have events or something.
I
We should have
know.
an event there.
Yeah, Liz, you're
Yeah.
in, right?
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah,
Okay,
me
we're gonna.
too.
We'll
I'll
ha-
go too.
I know.
Oh,
Of
we're
course,
in.
we'll have
Totally.
a party over there. Okay. Cheese, and we'll have, of course, bring in Jay for the wine because you
Yeah.
don't do cheese without wine.
Right,
so.
right, for sure.
Yeah. So okay, great. Well, thank you for joining us. Stay in your seat.
Okay.
We can just switch over to Malky now and
Okay.
just adjust the camera a little bit. Right? Can you still see Liz? Liz is also on it a little bit. If you want to scooch down a little bit, that way you can still see it. So, Malky, we're going to have your own official welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
This
I'm
is
so
great.
happy to be here. Yeah.
You know, Mark and I were saying we're Dublin at the same shul. And I kind of really got to know her a little bit more through Facebook because she got a bunch of
Yes.
little kids, so she didn't always make it upstairs into shul. And my
No.
kids are a little bit older, so I got to make it up. So it was like passing each other outside shul. And then I started following her on Facebook. She started off with a Facebook group.
Yes.
Not a group. You just started off.
I started off taking pictures of my dinner.
That was it.
It was
That's how she
really
started off.
simple. And before I knew it, I'd be going shopping in Gourmet Glatt, and I'd have people passing me and saying, "What's for dinner tonight?" And then it became a thing. And then it became such a thing that I decided to open my own little page called Kiss the Kosher Cook on Facebook.
Little page. It's not so little.
You know, smaller than Joy of Kosher.
Okay.
Slightly smaller. So yeah, and it became just this little thing that I take pictures of every food item I make coming out of my kitchen. Things that are suited for children, things that are suited for adults. You know, I think that making the same dinner every week is just boring, and what's the motivation in it? So I just love treating, maybe the same types of foods differently all the time. And I find recipes everywhere. I read about them in magazines, in cookbooks, online. I have original recipes, family recipes, and I share on my page.
She shares on her page, and
Yes.
then everybody has a comment back.
Yes,
You
lots of
cannot
comments.
believe how many these Facebook groups. Okay, so we've got all these great websites. We've got Instagram, and everyone's busy with the pictures. But Marky's Marky's Facebook group is extremely interactive.
Very.
If someone will post a question, within minutes you'll have 28 answers.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
not normal. I don't know how you function because I know how busy I am.
There's a lot of mommies, little kid mommies.
Little kid mummies.
They're at the playground with their phone.
Pretty much.
Marky, what do I do with this? Marky, what do I do with that? Marky,
yeah,
I need this.
yeah,
Marky,
yeah.
and you know what? To Marky's credit, she answers everybody. It's
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
and I know she encourages it. I'm not saying chas v'shalom at all that I'm mocking. It's amazing.
No, yeah.
This is the most together lady I know.
Thank you.
She has 4 little kids, and
Thank
she's
you.
like every second answering questions. I'm surprised the phone hasn't rung here.
It's on silent.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, ZK will kill us.
And beyond social media as well, I get text messages from people that don't know me. you
Really?
know?
That's so cute.
Like questions about recipes and
Well,
stuff.
you know, the one thing that I find like a little bit annoying is like I'm always happy to answer questions,
Sure.
right? So people go, "Can you text me a recipe for a brisket?"
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I've got to stop what I'm doing, find your recipe, and type it into
Yeah.
my thing, into my phone. Like I don't know how you guys get that, but I think that's like a little bit annoying.
A lot of bit annoying, but I feel like I just love helping people not be intimidated by
Right.
food. You know?
Right. Email me. Don't text me.
True.
Email me.
True. Yeah.
Naomi@nachumsegal.com or you can email me. Just don't text me because I can't text you back a recipe. I'm a bad typer on my iPhone. So email me, email Marky, Facebook me. I can do it on Facebook because you can copy and paste from the computer into the Facebook messages. But yeah, it's very hard. So you are every night making dinner
Every
for
night.
you, and do you share this food?
I do. I do.
What is?
I have people, surprisingly enough, requesting food, leftovers from me.
Oh, you actually give people
I do.
leftovers?
Sure.
Wow. But not everybody lives near you.
Yeah, my immediate neighbors, even the vicinity of
You
my
see
neighborhood.
what you made on Facebook and they're like, I'm coming over?
Yeah, pretty much. On Tisha B'Av,
That's so funny.
I do cook,
funny.
right? I cook. I mean, when I'm fasting, for some reason, I have this I just need to cook and bake.
I'm the same way.
I think
I'm the
it's
same
not
I
way.
do that on Tisha B'Av too.
I make pasta on Tisha B'Av.
I decided to
Fresh
make
pasta.
this
Oh, nice.
this
That's
Reese's
smart.
peanut butter cup cake. I'm not sure if you saw it. It was a very dense shortbread cake, kind of,
Yeah.
with lots of butter, which was good. Peanut butter and butter.
We were talking on the way here, and we
Yeah.
mentioned it before. We don't do margarine. We like to use
we
butter.
don't like to do margarine. I love the idea of different types. I mean, because margarine, the texture of margarine is the closest to butter, which is why we use it. But there are so many different products coming out now, like the coconut oil and things that have a solid base that, you could work with, but margarine is the most similar to butter, but the taste is, obviously not. No. But I made this cake, and the entire top was filled with crushed, cut up Reese's peanut butter cups. And it was a beautiful picture. It was on my granite. The color just worked, And I had people coming to my door requesting slices.
That is so funny. Well, I know that you put up, you hosted earlier on in the week, you hosted something for your kids' school, like a
I had
brunch.
the South Shore New Parents Tea last night.
Yeah,
Earlier a couple of days ago
Yeah.
in my home,
she-
where all the new parents of South Shore, the yeshiva in Hewlett, come and meet the administration, the principals, and I
Marky
hosted
put
it
on
and I baked everything.
quite a spread. I said, please bring some into the studio for Friday morning, but most of it got eaten or put in the freezer. But you know what? I'm going to stop by later. I'm going to be one of those
better.
people.
Yeah, I was thinking
You
you're
better.
a neighbor.
Yeah. We live on the other side of Woodmere, not too far, but you know what?
It's a little drive away. It's
A
few
little
minutes.
drive away.
Absolutely.
It's not Shabbos. It's I'll just drive over to you
Yeah,
before Shabbos and
absolutely.
take some. It's really
Absolutely.
nice that you're so giving.
I love it. I love it.
Of your food and of your time. It's unreal. It's.
I know how I
mind-blowing.
felt when I started cooking, and I was very, very intimidated by food. I didn't know what to do.
Right. So let's talk about
So,
your history.
yeah,
We spoke
yeah.
a little bit about other ladies and how
Sure.
they got started.
Sure,
but, you
sure.
know,
One of my earliest memories of making Shabbos, which was very, very stress-inducing because, as I mentioned before, I was working full-time in the city, and I didn't really know how to cook. And I didn't have to cook because it was just she and I at that point, my husband. But he really wanted to start having guests because we were getting invited out all the time, as newlyweds do, And we were getting invitations, and I had to reciprocate. So
you're so nice because not everybody reciprocates.
I felt like I had to because my husband was forcing me, basically. I didn't want to have guests because I was so clueless in the kitchen. I didn't know what I was doing.
Unbelievable to hear that out of your mouth.
So I made these chicken nuggets, and I think I baked them for like an hour.
Oh.
And I
Chewy?
watched my husband's friend chew it, for 15 minutes maybe. And I thought he would die. I thought that I thought I would kill him at the table. I thought he would. I thought that's my nugget. And I was watching him, and I thought, just swallow, please, swallow the chicken, And I thought to myself, I really need to get my act together. And I started just reading and researching, and also just trying different things, I tried making Moroccan cigars from Rachel Ray, and I didn't cover the phyllo dough, and it cracked when I was making it.
Oh, yeah.
It was a whole big cracked mess, and
You did
I
have
was
a
so
few
annoyed.
disasters in the beginning.
Plenty of disasters, and of course, I don't like posting my disasters, but once in a while, I'm going to do that because I want people to understand that it's trial and error, and these things happen in everybody's kitchen.
Everyone, even when you've been cooking for a while, you can still have
Bobby Flay.
mishaps.
Everybody. I'm sure everybody has
Yeah.
mistakes in the kitchen, and we're all like normal people, and you just have to start again.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
And that's, a really good piece of advice. And, I meet so many people who are brilliant doctors and, very bright women and men who are just absolutely want to cook but feel no confidence or feel incompetent. And you know, you can start off basic, and there's so many
Yeah.
great recipes out there. Maybe look for something that doesn't have so many steps or ingredients
Yeah.
at the beginning
Yeah.
to build your confidence. But if a recipe is written well, you can just follow along. I don't understand, like,
Yeah,
people
but I wouldn't recommend philo dough for someone that
No.
doesn't really
No, not
my-
for a
but
new
I-
person. I remember
that's
watching
like
my
a-
mother.
Used it since.
Oh,
No.
nice.
But, you know, you keep a wet towel over it.
Of
I used to watch
course,
my
of
mother.
course.
And you know what's great with this great world of social media and internet? YouTube videos. I wanted to learn how
Yes.
to temper chocolate. I went onto
Yes.
YouTube and I learned how to temper chocolate.
I love that.
Yeah, that helps.
You know,
a
I
lot.
love that.
It's very
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
Jamie has a ton of
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
or how-to videos, and
I'm actually posting this week about Ronnie Fine's new book, and I'm
It's-
doing a giveaway. And you
we just
can-
had a giveaway.
So and it's a great book because her recipes are really interesting and they're really simple. As a matter of fact, when I asked her for a quote for the giveaway post, she said, "I'm very interested in providing as few steps as possible." So for new cooks, it's a fantastic book.
That's amazing. What's
Yeah.
the book called?
And very well written too.
Yeah.
She's a great writer.
The
she writes her
modern,
recipe.
the modern
kosher
kosher kitchen.
She was a guest here last week.
No, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah, we have a giveaway. I guess you can still enter it because I'm not going to announce it till either next week or the week after. So
Right,
you'll have
it's
to
the
stay
modern
tuned.
kosher kitchen.
The Modern Kosher Kitchen by
Okay.
Ronnie Fine, fabulous. So we're giving you, Ronnie, yet another shout out because we love this book.
So listeners have two chances.
Yes, so you have to
Oh,
go
nice.
to Naomi at nachumsiegel.com and put your name down that you want to enter it. And especially people sometimes hear it on the archives and they think, well, you know, it's already aired and she's probably already, you know, drawn the raffle, but I haven't. So it'll either be in the next 2 weeks. So if you're hearing the show now, we're not going to draw it for another little bit, another 2 weeks or so. So it's a fabulous book and it taught me a lot about grains. I didn't know so much about farro and
I love that stuff.
too.
yeah.
And I feel like it's a new trend.
Yeah.
Wheat
yeah,
berry and
sure.
farro and all these different things.
Kamut.
Kamut. So do you
Is
remember
that how you pronounce that? The T
Kamut.
is? I always think it's Camus for some reason. I don't know.
Mais c'est en French. Do you remember, Malky, when we were at kitchen surfing back at my house?
Yes.
He did something with one of those
He
grains.
did a wheat berry,
Wheat berry.
and corn, fresh corn
It-
salad.
and he left me the
and
leftovers.
It was on underneath. It was a bed. It was a fish. It was a Long Island. It was
A fluke.
that was my
that,
favorite course.
that he did
Oh.
with, what's it called when you cook it in water?
Sous vide.
Sous vide. It was done sous vide.
Beautiful.
Fluke in sous vide, which he did at my house.
It was like butter. The fish. Like you didn't have to butterfish.
Butterfish.
I haven't been there, but shout out.
Yeah, it was really
Amazing.
It was really. I never had all that stuff, and it was toasted. I've never done. I do quinoa, and I did bulgur.
Bulgur, yes.
I did a lot of that, but I'm not doing. And whole grains is the latest buzzword, and you know they're saying that whole wheat's not really like whole wheat breads and whole wheat flours is not so good for you as one would think. You know, you should really try to. You know,
Well, I mean, the natural ingredient, like the raw
More natural.
form, is obviously
More
always
natural.
because it's not processed at all. Yeah, my favorite way to use farro is I make a bunch of different, like farro risotto. So have you ever made risotto?
No,
Make
I've
it with-
never.
Oh, really?
I,
oh my gosh,
It's so good. I like don't even go to.
I'm sure you have
yeah.
an original one, but Guy Fieri has a great recipe.
Yeah.
Oh,
too.
what is his-
But
what
it's
is his?
parve. It's not a. I feel like farro and cheese is very.
It is
common.
very good with cheese, but I have made it parve also.
Okay, so he has a mushroom farro.
Yeah,
that
I've
is-
made
Mushroom is
mushroom,
perfect
artichoke
with
is one of my
farro.
favorites.
Artichoke.
mushroom is.
Well,
Yeah,
because
and
it's
even
got-
butternut squash this time of year, or pumpkin would be
That's
great.
right.
I haven't done that
Yum.
though, but that would be good. But
The
that,
farro has like a toothsome, very
chewy
toothsome
texture.
texture.
Yes.
So mushrooms also have that kind of
That's
texture.
true.
So they're
holds up
Compliment?
really well in risotto.
they're really happy
also
together.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Mushrooms and farro.
Can we do a recipe together? And I'll come to your house. You come to my house. We'll make them.
totally.
I think that'll be. You guys can come too.
Saving
But I
a
think we live so
question?
far.
yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
Have to get-
definitely.
I don't go to Long Island very often.
I know. It was hard to drag it to the.
I know.
To the lower
Coming
end.
to my house for the
amazing.
farmers market. So we can do it at my house too.
Okay,
Come to the
sounds.
farmers
Yeah.
do it.
market.
I would come to that. I think you're actually closer to me too, probably.
Yeah, you're further north. We're like. I feel like Long
I don't
Island's
know.
like
I just get lost
out.
when I go to Long Island. So
Yeah, it took me a long time. I moved right from the Lower East Side. I used to live here on the Lower East
Oh.
Side, and 11 years ago we moved to the Five Towns. And like the first year, I didn't really know how to drive it. It was just all these highways,
yeah,
like 5 highways: Van Wyck, Grand Central,
Southern
FDR Drive.
State,
You-
everywhere.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
not good for little, and there was no like ways back then.
Right.
So you
No.
know.
That
or
should help.
MapQuest or something.
Right.
I think I used to MapQuest with my little
Print it
printout.
out, yeah.
That was a little pain in the neck. So, Liz, I meant to ask you before. We're just going to switch for a second. For bloggers,
Oh,
do you want to talk about that? Because
Oh, yeah.
I got the it's an online
it's an
recipe,
ebook.
an ebook.
It's
That's
an
the right
ebook.
word, an
It's-
ebook.
Yes,
and
and
it's-
we're hoping that it will be a series. We're starting to talk about that. So in January, I was sitting on a beach in Costa Rica, and I was sitting, I was sitting at breakfast with very good friends and with my husband, and I received an email from Sarah Lasry, who writes at The Potchki Princess, and Amy Kreitzer from What Jew Want to Eat, and they said we're considering doing a Pesach ebook, and we're going to just ask 2 other bloggers to contribute with us, and we're going to do a collaborative project, and there will be just 4 of us, and we'd like you to be one of the bloggers.
That's so nice for
So,
you.
I looked at the email and I looked at my calendar and I said, well, we're 2.5 months before Pesach. That's not going to happen. And my husband and my friends said, oh, it will happen. You'll just stop absolutely everything and you'll do it. And, I know Tamar, it's so funny because Tamar and I a long time ago talked, and I said, I'm not a recipe blogger. My blog is not going to be a recipe blog, and I'm not a recipe blogger. And all of a sudden, I've been posting a lot of recipes, and it sort of started with this project, this ebook for Pesach. So the 4 of us, the 4 bloggers, did the whole thing. We did all of our meetings on Google Chat, and we got to know each other very, very well and very intimately, in fact. I mean, we were always laughing and working, and we had 2 or 3 meetings on Google Chat a week. And we worked very, very quickly and put together an ebook that we call 4 Bloggers Dish, Passover. So it gave us an opportunity to share our very different perspectives on recipes. For example, Sarah comes from a much more traditional kind of perspective. Like, she was the one who said, where's the meat? Where's all the meat in here? People are looking for, roasts and stews and all of that. And I don't do that much of it. My stuff, I eat everything, but I do a lot more vegetarian and grain and vegetable. Amy is from Texas. From Austin, and so her perspective is different, and she's quite young, and she just has a whole different voice. And we also had another blogger from Miami, and her voice was quite different also. Her blog is called Jew Hungry. And so we had 4 different perspectives, but all of us are kosher, and it was a very inspiring project. And to collaborate with other people was very exciting, because blogging can get a little lonely. We spend a lot of time alone in our kitchens.
Or at our computers, writing the
At our
recipe.
computers, right? And,
nice.
even if I'm doing a restaurant review or a product review, it's sort of me and either the restaurant. Sometimes I go alone so I can get the pictures because I want to shoot them at 11:30 in the morning. I can't
Right.
shoot at night. There's a lot of alone time when you're a blogger. So to have an opportunity to collaborate was really exciting. And I would like to make the next book 4 Bloggers Dish Shabbat. And
nice.
that's
I
my
love that.
dream, and we'll
That
be
sounds
talking
great.
about that soon.
Okay, yeah. And how can people get, I know Pesach is, I can tell you how many days Pesach is away, because last week was 161 days away. So take away 7 is what? What's it, 150 something days?
154.
154, yeah.
Right.
Math-
Oh, we've got a mathematician in there.
I am not a mathematician.
and I am
Common
clearly-
Core 2nd grade math.
No, I can't do it. Oh, right. We're
yeah.
in Common Core 1st grade.
Oh, Lord.
It's weird, that whole math
Oh, it's
thing.
bad. It is bad
but
news.
my daughter, thank God, gets math.
Oh.
Reading's a little harder, but
I take
math,
too
she's-
many pictures and send them to my friends. What is this?
Yeah, I know. She posts.
2nd grade.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can go on Amazon.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can go on Amazon.
Because it's you can use it's nice, especially gluten-free people.
Well, there's-
These
right,
all
there's a
recipes
lot.
are gluten-free.
Right, well, yeah.
Unless it's got matzah meal.
Right.
But then you
Right.
right?
We
Yeah,
did,
you
and we did
probably-
do,
Non-gebraucht.
we did mark every recipe. Every recipe was labeled
Gebraucht.
gebraucht or not, and so that was really helpful for people. And I don't know if you know this, but you can get a little stand for your iPad, so you can really,
Oh, really?
use
Oh,
this
look.
ebook in your kitchen. Right, you have that,
See?
or
See, I have a little iPad stand.
Yeah.
my daughter got me
Oh,
a
that's great.
stand with a stylus, so you don't ever have to touch the pad because your
nice,
hands
too.
are like
Yeah.
fashmutz,
That's
right?
my issue with it
No,
always.
no,
That's
no,
a
no,
good good
no,
idea.
no. You can get a
Stylus.
stand with a stylus, and then you're scrolling with your stylus. Yeah. So 4 Bloggers Dish Passover on Amazon.
Okay, you can download that. Now we're going to take a break for our What's for Dinner segment, which is sponsored by Gourmet Glatt. So thank you, Gourmet Glatt, for sponsoring this segment. And Malky,
Yes.
I asked her if Malky, as being the dinner persona of the neighbourhood, inspires the whole neighbourhood what's for dinner. I asked Malky if she would do the honour of giving us the recipe.
Okay. Can I credit a certain book that I've gotten this recipe in?
Absolutely. This is what,
Okay.
and I'm about this all the time.
And I love
Credit.
that you're here because it's actually Jamie Giller's original Bacon Kosher.
Oh, there you go.
It's called arroz con pollo, and it's one of those go-to recipes for me because
Can you say that slowly?
arroz con pollo.
Oh.
It's Spanish chicken and rice.
Oh, okay.
And it is genius. It is one pot. It's one pan, and I just love it because it has the Near East instant rice, Spanish rice, and what you do is you saute a box of mushrooms with 1 onion and a pepper. You can always omit the pepper if you
yeah.
don't want it. You can just
It would be
you know,
zucchinis in my house.
zucchini. You saute it until tender, maybe 8 minutes. Salt and pepper, and then you put it in the 9x13 pan with 2 boxes of Near East Spanish rice. And then you put the spice packets in there as well. Mix it together, and you add 1 3/4 cup of water. You put chicken pieces. It could be dark cut, whatever it is. Bone-in chicken.
Yeah, because or else it would dry out.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then you put turmeric, paprika, and garlic powder on top. A nice layer, maybe a teaspoon each. Then you put it in the oven at 375.
Covered or uncovered?
Uncovered.
Uncovered.
375 for an hour and 25 minutes. And then you take it out, you fluff it, and it's perfect. Good to go. You have your rice, your vegetables, and your chicken. It's perfect.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I hear about all these chicken and rice dishes, but I've never actually
For
done
a
it. So-
for little kids,
Yeah.
and you put it in the oven, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to monitor it. You don't have to watch the.
You just got all that flavor
Growing
from
up,
the
we used to have
chicken.
something like that, but it wasn't the flavor. It was different flavors, but it was the rice with chicken on top. But we also used to put broccoli and cauliflower all around it, and sometimes we made it with bulgur.
oh,
even,
nice.
Instead of
I
rice.
would do that.
And it's like anything. You can do anything like that. And then it's a 1-pot meal if you add the broccoli and cauliflower
I did
to
a
it.
different. I did a recipe from Jerusalem Cookbook, which is another favorite of mine.
Oh, Ottolenghi?
Called makluba, and it's
Oh, I have a
take.
recipe for that.
It's
I
what
know
it
it
called?
is, but that's
Makluba.
but that's supposed to be like turned upside down. That's a little more. Me
I
too,
did
but
it
it's very-
because I
it's-
had to do it,
Nice.
but I
Makluba?
I was
I have
not
to
happy
see
about
yours.
it.
Mine didn't come out so pretty.
It
but-
was gorgeous.
Really?
It was a cake
Wow,
of rice and
amazing.
chicken and cauliflower. It was beautiful.
I saw that.
Oh, it was genius.
So if you want to join any one of these ladies' amazing Facebook and Instagram and main websites or Facebook groups, so we
And
have
Pinterest.
and Pinterest and Twitter. So Joy of Kosher. Why don't you each go through, because as our show almost about to wrap up, I told you an hour flies by.
Nice.
So we'll start with Tamar. How do
Joy
we?
of Kosher.
Dot-
joyofkosher.com, at Joy of Kosher for any of the other things. And so, facebook.com/ Joy of Kosher. Everything is
Joy of
Joy of
Kosher.
Kosher.
Okay.
Okay, I'm on Facebook. My page is closed, but if you just search Kiss the Kosher Cook, I will approve you. I just like to keep it closed, for, privacy purposes and solicitations and stuff like that. But I'm also on Instagram, Kiss the Kosher Cook.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Great. And
And I'm on all of those platforms, and my blog is called Kosher Like Me, and the address is kosherlikeme.com.
okay, great. So now everyone has all their information. If you always watch the show again and you can catch it up again, you can watch our shows anytime on NachumSiegel.com. You can download with the app, the Nachum Siegel Network app, and that way you can even on the go listen to your iPhone, from your iPhone, or on YouTube, as we'd mentioned earlier. So we are everywhere. We can be heard everywhere talking about food. We have so many great shows on the stream. Mine or everyone else's. You can catch up on the schedule on NachumSiegel.com. We've had an amazing show. I am so hungry, guys.
I know.
I've got to go home and cook. We've got some great recipes that we heard today, and the one that usually I say the what's for supper, the what's for dinner recipe is usually on my blog, but you can go to
Yeah, it's on
joyofkosher.com
Joy of Kosher, that one, yeah.
or Quick and Kosher Remember a couple of cooking classes I've got going this week. If people want to join me at the Pepper Mill, you can call them up or go to the website, thepeppermillinc.com, and sign up for my mini appetizer class. And Hadassah Women's Group has invited me and everyone who would like to join us. Call Ethel Gold at 718-434-6264. KosherBloggersConference.com. You can sign up to join us. Kosher Fest and Kosher Feast. Sign up for that too. So, we'll be a week of, it's in 2 weeks' time, so it'll be a week of eating and meeting and greeting all fellow like-minded eaters, right? Liz taught me that.
That's what I say all the time. Like-minded eaters.
Hashtag like-minded eaters.
It's the best because we are, and we have a range of different things that we're interested in, but in the end, we're like-minded eaters.
I love it. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show and to all our shows. We have music sponsored by our friends at Kedem right up till Lichtbenching. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. Our show has been sponsored by Abelson Hyman. Shabbat Shalom. See you next week. Men's Week next week.